Welcome to Chaotic Harmony. My name is John.
This is Crystal. We talk about the joys and the challenges of teaching music in the elementary school classroom.
We share struggles, we brainstorm solutions.
And we would love to have you join us.
Welcome to another episode of Chaotic Harmony, episode 116 for the week of June the 16th when this gets released. I am one of your hosts, Jonathan Seligman, and today I am joined by the one who brings the fun, Jamie John. Hey, Jamie.
Yeah. Hi.
How you doing?
Good. Just trying to stay cool in the hot heat of Sacramento, California.
It's always interesting. Whenever I think about NorCal, I think about the Bay Area, which is a different section of California, mind you. I know, I recognize that. But, me, for my petty Southern Californian self, it's like, how is it this hot in Northern California? So, yeah. What's the degreeage over at your spots?
Let's see. It says that it's not 100. Otherwise, I would know.
The
It's
body
90,
knows.
though.
90. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Condolences, and hopefully you stay cool during that. We were mentioning before we hit record, this is your last week.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow is the last day of instruction.
Okay. And then you have one day
Mhm.
cleanup.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Well, I hope we'll chat more about your plans for summer break in another episode, but I am happy for you. This day is my first day of summer break as we're recording, so I can finally just breathe for a second. So,
Yay.
also, before we get started, since I've known you, your tagline has always been the one who brings the fun.
Uh,
You said with your kids, like, how did that start? Was that like something you concocted before you started teaching, or like did a kid bring that up, or what?
I think it was something that I concocted like first year of teaching. And
Okay.
because I was trying to figure out, like, first year of teaching, I was trying to figure out how am I going to introduce myself. And um, I was just learning from all these people, like, this is how they introduce themselves, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, what can I do? Miss Jen, Ryan's, like, oh, it rhymes with
Oh
fun.
yeah, that's it. That's the actual one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Originally, it's gone through an evolution.
This is the next stage.
Yeah. Originally, it was like, hi, I'm Miss Jen, who rhymes with fun, or something like that. Now it's evolved to Miss Jen brings the fun.
Okay, we'll have to catch up in 2 years, see what happens. But
Uh,
I wish I had a tagline like Seligman. Not Mr. Baldy, not Mr. Clean, Mr. Seligman. So you,
I'm sure we
but
can come up with something. We'll have a brainstorm party.
brainstorm party. Let's do it. And also, it's really great. We've talked about how we're having a lot of new faces in Chaotic Harmony, and it's really great to have you as one. I know we talked a while
Yay.
about having like us two just podcasting,
I
and
know.
now it's like you're part of the family. So welcome.
It's become reality. Yay.
Hey.
Makes me happy too.
Well, I know the rest of us and all the listeners will be happy because you have a lot of great thoughts, but we'll get into that in a bit.
Yay.
But to our listeners, nah, don't give me that. To our listeners, as a reminder, this is Chaotic Harmony, the podcast where we talk about the joys, struggles, and all things adjacent to elementary music. Last week, we had Jasmine Ma on to get to know her more. And I learned a ton because, as mentioned last week, she's like of the new faces, she's the one I know the least. And so I learned a lot. Like, I did not know she was a bass player. And I didn't.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't. And also,
yeah.
I just then I didn't know she learned through pictures, which I'm guessing is old news to you. Um,
Yeah, Jasmine and I are pretty close. So like I'm like, how do you not know that? No, she's pretty awesome. I'm glad she's on the team too.
yeah. It's a great up. So everyone, make sure you listen to it after you listen to this episode with Jamie. But also next week we have our season finale. Kind of seasons work weird here with Chaotic Harmony. Many members of the Chaotic family will be reflecting on this past year as it's been a lot for us, at least for me. So we'll find out about you, Jamie. But you won't want to miss out on that. And it's really important to just, you know what? Forget that. Forget that line. And also, we'll be announcing. We'll be announcing. Sometimes I write things in my little diddly and I forget to erase it. Also, we'll be announcing who won the video game Laban draft. And it might surprise you
Yay!
or might not. I don't
Oh,
know. It's going to be one of the four. That's all of you know. So we'll find out next week. That all said, Jamie, Um, I believe we officially first met in South Carolina. It was like what, 2022? Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm usually terrible with years, so I have to like think back which
God.
conference was it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure
It,
you're right, 2022.
it was the one where we came back from COVID. 2020 was, I don't know. Someone can email us or tell us in the comments like what was. Wait. We can do this math. Last year was 2024 was Indiana. 2023
Yes.
was KC.
Can't was it Kansas City?
Sorry, it wasn't Indiana, it was Iowa. So last 2024 was Iowa, 2023
Iowa.
was KC,
Hmm.
22 must have been South Carolina. Okay.
Okay, there we
Yeah.
go.
Got it. Dude. Boom.
We may be standard corrected, but we'll find
Yes.
out.
Be nice when you send us comments, please.
Hmm.
So yeah, we were hanging out with Tiffany, and I realized I met you earlier when Genesis invited the Chaotic Harmony folk to your chapter, but it was online. And
Hmm.
my first thought was, this girl is too happy at this hour online. But I think it really goes into your character. But before we go into that, like, let's just have your program notes. Actually, let's just go to your program notes. Um, where do you currently teach right now? Where are you?
So, Sacramento, California. I actually currently
Mhm.
I work full time at Sierra Oaks K-8 school in Sacramento area. And this is my first year being full time
Mm,
here,
mm,
or full the first time being full time anywhere at one site. I have been teaching. This is the end of my 10th year of teaching.
mhm,
So, in my previous 10 years there it's been quite the mix. Mostly have been itinerant and different parts of Sacramento. So I was with Twin Rivers Unified at first, and now I'm currently still with San Juan Unified. And Sacramento is humongous. We have like four different districts, and then you go to the edges like El Dorado Hills and Elk Grove and stuff. There are even more. So I've most of that time I've been pushing in, or I sometimes at one of the sites I would have a classroom and then the kids came to me, but it's been really rare to ever be at one site for all 5 days of the week.
mm. What
Hmm.
is it like? So I know people who listen to this podcast, some are itinerant, some are at one site. It's all different. What do you feel like now that this is your first year in at one site? What's like one of the biggest differences that you've noticed?
Well, I've noticed that I've gotten to like see more of the staff
Mm,
and be able to see more of the principal and just all the mostly the adults, and especially parents and families. I mean, it's like now that I'm here every day, I'm seeing everybody every day. Well, most people, depending on what the schedule is, but like I'm part of the staff meetings because before I usually the staff meetings were at a time or on a day that I couldn't be there.
mm, mm.
And so it's like I can finally see all the adults and all everybody involved. I'm getting to know more of the names of everybody, and more people know me.
Hey, that's
More people
good.
know who I am too. It's like, oh yeah, you're the music teacher. Or people are more friendly now.
Okay.
That's a big difference because like what I've seen, there are some sites where yeah, they're friendly to everybody, and then there are some sites where it's like I have no idea who you are. I don't know if you're gonna be here for very long.
Fair.
So then there's that whole thing of like, well, we'll just do our own thing and leave each other alone because we had never been introduced to each other.
Hmm.
And there are some times where I get that same feeling, and because I know for sure I'm not going to be there next year. Or it's sometimes where it's like I try to make the effort to get to know people. So it just really depends on the work
It's fair.
environment.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I feel like a lot of people they talk about, knowing the kids like is a really big part, but you're absolutely right. Like your relationship with adults is so important
Hmm.
and as a music teacher, and so being at one site is a huge big difference. So I'm glad to hear that. You mentioned your K to 8. What's your structure like? Do you teach general music? Does it differ between K to 5 and 6 to 8, or like what kind of what's the word I'm looking for? How do you
Who do I
teach?
teach?
Who and
How?
how do you teach? Yes.
So I think we have AM and PM kindergarten, so we actually have no schedule for them to have music, unfortunately.
Okay.
But I do teach 1 through 8th grade. And for 1 through 6th grade, basically, it's general music. And then 7th and 8th grade is a beginning band that they just started this year with me.
Okay.
They've never had like a, maybe, I don't know if their previous music teachers have had before an after school band, but they never had an everyday middle school band until me. So
Gotcha.
that's been a huge difference too.
And are you full time because of Proposition 28?
Hmm.
I'm glad to, as I said to Jasmine, I'm glad to hear just some districts are doing a good job with that money. That's cool. That's really cool. Uh, how long do you teach your kids for? Like, how long are your class sessions?
So a lot of it is similar to Jasmine's. I teach 40-minute periods,
Hmm.
except for my middle school band. So I teach them as 6th period as an elective period at the end of the day. So I see them every day at the end of the day for about 55 minutes, almost an hour.
Okay. Okay. And okay, that's nice.
Yeah,
And is it charter or is it public school or like
public
what's the
school.
structure? Public school. That's awesome. Yeah, I know our district has percolated with the idea of being K-8, but then we'd like start throwing fists at our sister district. I don't know, but whatever our feeder district. That's what I'm looking for. So, but
Uh,
that's really. I've always thought like if we were K-8, that would provide so much more job security for us music teachers. But that's really cool. So is being an elementary music teacher, was that your dream when you first like was this like how you what you wanted to be doing from the onslaught or was yeah, what was your projection when you were a little child?
Actually, when I was a young child, I wanted to be an author. I
An
wanted to
author.
write books.
I did
Yeah,
not know this about you.
more
Uh,
surprises.
Hey,
I used to be such a bookworm. I used
okay.
to have book all the time, spend my recess reading instead of playing on the
Nerd.
playground. I would read in the car, read while walking with the real books with the pages, before ebooks were a thing.
Hmm.
And yeah, just I would read everywhere. So I wanted to be an author. But then I used to carry these little tiny notebooks because I used to go to the stationery store and buy these cute little notebooks and try to write short stories in them.
Mm.
I've lost them a long time ago. We had to throw them
Sad.
away.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah. And so I would try writing these short stories and then I did that for a while, but then when I tried to like get feedback from some friends and people, it wasn't really encouraging. They were like,
Mm.
it's I've I it was they said it was cliche, and my mom said it's really hard to be an author, and so that dream kind of died out over
Mm.
time.
When was the peak of your desire of being an author? Like what grade level? Like when were you like writing a lot of these short stories?
I think it was early high school actually.
Oh, okay, that long.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I was inspired by the author of I forgot, Aragon. Who was the author
Okay.
of Aragon?
Who was the we got this. I could do this.
See, this is how
Christopher
much I'm
Polony.
not a bookworm anymore.
Oh
Who?
man. Christopher Paolo I just closed it. Christopher Paolini? Did I do
Ah,
this?
okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He when I heard that he published his book when he was 15, I was like, oh,
Oh.
I want to do that. And then it didn't happen. But then my
Well,
next dream was to be a Broadway singer because I
oh.
was really into musicals in high school.
Hmm.
And then my mom also said that's really competitive and difficult. And I'm like, okay.
Well, now what? So,
Yeah.
okay. And then wasn't until when that you decided to pursue music education?
Basically when I had to decide on a major in college because all
Gotcha.
these dreams had died out. And so I was like, well, I don't know what to be in
Hmm.
college anymore. Well, I guess like I it was more like I couldn't think of anything else except what my mom was doing, which was I love music, I like kids, I'll just be a music teacher. It
Okay.
wasn't like a lifelong dream of mine. I wasn't, if anything, I was inspired by my mom because she's a music teacher as well.
Okay. Hmm. Hmm.
And so I thought, okay, maybe I'll do the same thing. So I went through college and I got my degree. I got both music performance and music education majors. I did a double major
Okay.
at Sacramento State University. And so it wasn't actually when I started teaching I student taught at middle school band. I thought, oh, as a music teacher and I'm in band, I'll just be a middle school band teacher. So it's more like I was going with the flow with a lot of different things. I wasn't sure if that was really what I wanted to do. So I did like at that time it was a full year at one site,
Hmm.
and I was just at middle school band the whole time, teaching sixth grade band and sometimes subbing for a seventh and eighth grade band. And I thought, okay, this is just what I'm going to do. But when it was time to find jobs, there were none.
Yeah. What year was that again? Like
It
20.
was I've got my first job in 2015.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. Almost, that was 10 years
Dude,
ago.
yep, yep.
Oh
10th
my
year teaching.
gosh.
First
Yeah.
off, congrats to you. Boom, 10th year.
Mm. So like that time, there were like one or two jobs in Sacramento area, unless I
Hmm.
wanted to move out of the city. Um, but then the few that I found, they asked for middle school band, but asked about choir and orchestra. And then there were these other ones where it kind of like just fell through, and the only ones available were elementary music.
Okay. Before we get
Hmm.
into that, like, did you have elementary music as when you were a kid? Also, what does your
Yes.
what specifically does your mom teach? What kind of music?
She teaches elementary music as
Okay.
well.
Okay. So it
Hmm.
was familiar to you.
Yeah. And
Um,
yeah, so she was basically not my first general music teacher, except at home, like
sure.
private
Yeah.
lessons. My mom's a piano teacher trying to teach me piano, and we argued. I still remember a core memory. Which one's the left hand? I don't know. I don't know, Mom. I was
Oh man.
crying.
I feel like a lot of my friends who are piano teachers, they refuse to teach their kids just because of how much stress that is. Like, so I can
Yeah.
only imagine. I can only imagine.
My
Oh,
mom like learned the hard way to stop teaching me piano and hired a piano instructor.
fair,
Yeah.
fair.
And yeah, other than her at home,
Hmm.
I did have elementary music in the classroom, but not so I have a complicated history there. I was born and raised in San Jose, California.
Hmm.
I don't really remember much elementary music there until I moved to South Korea. So I moved to Korea when I was 9 years old,
Mm.
and I do remember there being elementary music there in the classroom.
Do you remember
Hmm.
what kind of a style, if you were to think now, pedagogue, I can't speak. It's my first day of summer. Pedagogically, that's it. Do you remember what
We'll go with
style
that.
it was? Well, just go with it.
I don't I don't remember much. I don't think it was Kodai. If you're asking about what like
Right.
approach, then I don't think it was Kodai or official work. I think it was just general music. The One of the only things I remember is listening to um the Mountain King and
Mm.
trying to listen for certain things in the music. I actually I do remember now, like the teacher was asking, "Do you hear this and this?" And the rest of the kids were like, "Yeah," and I was like, "No."
Oh
I was that
no. Oh
kid.
no.
I was that kid. I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Like what? Like what, how the melody goes up and down, or like,
Or something.
or is like, do you visualize this while you're listening to it? It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
so
it's like,
I think I was that kid. Yeah, I was
oh,
also the kid who was running around a lot.
you're that kid, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. Um,
Um, yeah, so that was my like earliest one of my earliest memories of elementary music.
gotcha, gotcha.
Hmm.
And so you then pursued, I know we're kind of going back into the story. So you then you took elementary music in South Korea, partially maybe in San Jose. When did you come back to the United States?
For college.
Oh, it's college. Okay. Okay. So
Hmm.
then you pursued middle school, high school, focusing on the flute. Is that right?
Yes.
And you did
And
not
choir.
switch. Okay. And you did
And
not switch to
choir.
double bass.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No. That's
Um,
Jasmine.
that's Jasmine's story. Go check that last episode. But so yeah, you focused on the flute, also choir as well. What was it that you really enjoyed about music in schools?
I think I think I enjoyed choir more,
Mm,
where
sorry, flutes.
uh where we got to like sing a lot of like cool stuff.
Mm,
And I
mm.
was in a few different choirs. So in middle school and high school. So also I was in church choir because remember my mom's a music teacher. And when
Mhm.
we went to church, she automatically put me in the church choir, whether I wanted to or not. It was still a good experience. I love my mom. Um, and then in middle school, oh yeah, and she was also my music teacher in some of the schools that I went to
Okay.
too.
Hmm.
Yeah, so she was also my choir teacher at school and my orchestra teacher, which she put me in as a flutist. So I've been through a lot of different things. I've actually been through many different schools for many different reasons. And so I was mostly
It's
in
because you're running away from
choir.
all the classes. Is that why?
Yeah, pretty much. And oh, I have a story of when I ran away from school. I'll
Oh,
tell you about it another day.
sure, sure.
Or
Okay.
maybe a funny story later. Um I'll I just was mostly focused on those two, and I
Mhm.
remember enjoying choir more because I love to sing. I We sang in the car all the time. We would sing to Sister Act 2 with the radio or NSYNC and Backstreet Boys. That was my jam.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and then I remember being in choir and singing all these like cool songs were and just moving sometimes adding movement to it was really cool. I uh I remember band and orchestra being not being as fun. I still enjoyed it, but it wasn't as fun because it was harder. It was more
Mm.
competitive. It was more
Okay.
competitive. And like, you know me, I'm a competitive person. So
You? No. No.
yeah. And so like when I didn't that affected my self-esteem quite a bit.
Sure. Okay.
Hmm.
Mm.
Similar things happen in choir too, even though I enjoyed it more, but that's why it kind of hurt more when I didn't get certain parts in
Mm.
choir. Hmm.
Yeah, I feel like something that I've noticed with a lot of people I talk to is that secondary, there's a sense of rigor that is like, it's good, but also it gets too competitive that it's really does affect a lot of people's self-esteem, for lack of a better term. I don't know, but something along those lines. Like I remember a lot of my friends, like in college, even in college, it's like they focused so much on like making sure you know X, Y, and Z as opposed to the like what the joy of music is all about. So I get you there.
Yeah.
Um, so you you went to San Jose State for university.
No,
No, no, no, sorry, I'm mixing that with
Sacramento
most.
State.
Sac State. My apologies. My apologies.
Yeah.
And you decided after you could not be in Mr. Aragon that you would pursue music, teaching music. So, and then you mentioned also the jobs were more pointing towards elementary music. What
Yeah.
was that like then shifting from the middle school perspective to the elementary?
I was panicking.
How so? What was scary
I was
about it?
like, I did a whole year of student teaching in middle school band, and then the only job I get is elementary music. What am I gonna do?
That's fair. So
Yeah.
what did you do?
I asked around to like some of my colleagues and friends
Mhm,
and asked like, what can I do? Is there a class I can take? So or like a workshop or training I can do to prepare for my job that's
mhm.
happening this fall. What can I do in the summer? So I signed up for a couple of things, but that was really the first summer that I really delved into Orff work and education through music through the Richards Institute of Education and Research.
TM. Gotcha. And yeah, so Jasmine shared a bit about ETM. Can you share just like a little, because I know a lot of our listeners, we are very well aware of ORF. What is, in a nutshell, what is ETM? Because it seems like it played an
Mhm.
important role for both you and also Jasmine, but what is ETM?
So there are two ETMs. There's one
Yeah.
that's also education through music, and then there's a separate one that's through the Richards Institute of Education and Research.
The
And they
musical, the
also
series.
call it ETM.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
And
so
so, yeah,
the one I'm talking about is through the Richards Institute. Hmm.
yes.
And basically they actually I'm doing a whole research culminating research project on it through to get my master's.
Okay.
And we've delved into the history and the philosophy and the selection of repertoire of how it got founded and everything. Mary Helen Richards is someone who was trying to keep music in the schools, basically. And this is the time during Sputnik where like they started cutting a lot of those programs because they were
Hey.
focusing on sciences and math. And so she was like trying to scurry around, trying to find something to help keep music in schools. And so she ended up talking to Kodai, or reaching out to Zoltan Kodai and asking like, how do you do it in Hungary? And so basically, like through a whole series of things, she based off a different style, a different approach in a similar style that Kodai did, but with American folk songs, or many of them end up being Eurocentric folk songs, because she is trying to, also with teaching music, she also wanted to teach English at the same time. And
Mm.
that was kind of her fundamental point with trying to keep music in schools, to convince people that like, hey, music is important. See, we're teaching literacy at the same time.
Okay.
So like when we go to workshops, there you'll see not just music teachers, but also classroom teachers, general teachers who are trying to teach English through music, education through music.
Richard's Institute.
Yes. Richard's
Caveat.
Institute for short.
Man, dude, they should have just like, I don't know, did an arm wrestling. Who keeps the name? Like, or something. I don't know. But okay, cool. Yeah, remember you had me like, you invited me to
Be a
observe,
guest.
yes, as a guest.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was really cool because I had never heard of it before until I met you. And so, uh, I feel like we could probably spend more time on that for a separate episode. But
Yeah.
like, so you just asked around, hey, what's up? And the people pointed you to both ETM, Richards
Yes.
Institute, and also Orff. Uh,
Yes.
what appealed to you? What appealed to you for both perspectives, from the Orff perspective and the Richards Institute perspective?
Something that I feel like is appealed, is very similar with both approaches, is that they have, play is at the heart of what they do,
Mm.
basically. So and you know me, Miss Junn brings the fun, Jamie Junn brings the fun. So all these games really
Hmm.
appealed to me. And that was part of the reason why I felt like I'm more of an, I'm meant to be an elementary music teacher. And middle school, teaching middle school band is fun, but elementary is my thing. And it's through play, because I
Hmm.
love to play with the kids, play all these games, and teach them music at the same time. And that is what both of them do. So, or if Showwork does it in one style, and ETM does it, but in a different style,
Hmm.
basically.
Okay, so
Hmm.
games is the heart of what drew you to those two kind of approaches. And like, so
Yes.
what is it about games to those maybe who aren't necessarily an Orff teacher, those who are just listening and just stumbled upon this podcast? Like, why is games important to learning for you?
Well, it also has to do with the brain, and that's what I've seen a lot in ETM, is
Hmm.
that, as with the name, Richards Institute of Education and Research. So, what I feel like, I'm sure there are other like approaches and studies and pedagogies that
Hmm.
also delve into the brain, or the study of the of brain research in children, but I've seen it the most in ETM. Maybe I'm probably biased because I've been to ETM the most. But like in they study different psychologists
Hmm.
and psychotherapists, and they cite their research all the time. And with, so Jean Piaget for one, and then there's John Medina about the how the brain works, and also ah, I know there are more. They're just not coming up in my head right now. But like there are several different psychologists and therapists who talk about brain research with scanning the brain, and how play is learning for children. So that's why when we play games, it is learning for them. It may not appeal to us. I mean, games appeal to us too, but in a different way.
Right.
But in the structure of a game, there is a ritual, there is structure, there are rules that everybody agrees on in order to play the game, where they practice how to like stretch or stay within those boundaries of the game. And when you do it through music, it helps you figure out all these musical elements as well, not just about singing appropriately in the right pitch, but also about knowing the beginning and end of the phrase.
Hmm.
And all you can play. And also, part of the play is to see what you can stretch, what you can creatively manipulate in order to see, like, can we do it this way? Or can we change this word? Is it still musical? Can we still play the game, even though we changed this one thing, and is it still fun? And that's motivating for children, which is the intrinsic award that helps them be motivated to play and to learn at the same time, which, and also the structure and the ritual. And when I say ritual, I mean like when this happens and this happens. And that's how we play the game,
Hmm.
basically.
Hmm. The
When
rules.
yeah, exactly, the rules of the game, when they know what's going to happen, when they are safe to do so, they know how to proceed, then their affective filter goes away, and then they become more open to learning instead
Mhm.
of that Maslow's hierarchy of like basic needs where it's like, am I safe? Is it safe to do anything? They're not in that mode anymore. Then they can get to those other higher parts of the hierarchy where they can actually do cognitive thinking.
Hmm. Fascinating. I like that a lot. And I like that you brought into this predictability and safeness. And because I feel like a lot of people, when they think about games, or people, I'm making a straw man right now, but like just when people, when it's like overall, a lot of people think games, they think of like recess, or they think of like this like time where people get hurt, because games, or like if you think about football, sports, like people get hurt during games. And like you were sharing that games, if done, if taught in a correct fashion, they can provide actually a lot of safety to their learning.
And I feel like um I see that with children too.
Hmm.
When they ask to play a game, usually they mean, can we play a competitive game?
Right.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So they think, oh, who's going to win or who's going to lose? But most of the time when we play, I try. There are like a few games where there is a winner and a loser. Most of the time, there is no winner or loser. And so when they ask to play a game, and I'm like, we've been playing games this whole time. Then they tell what they mean. And I'm like, ah, actually, these are also games that
Uh-huh.
we have been playing this whole time. And also, like, I guess back to the thing about whether something's correct or not, like, I feel like it's not about correctness, it's about how can you develop and facilitate the game in a safe manner and still playful for everybody. Because like I know that one class they want to change a word because and it's fun for them and they make it musical and it's great. And this other class, they don't want to change the word and they just want to keep it the same way. I'm like, okay, as long as they're still musical and they're still playing the game and still keeping it to the heart of what the game is. And I know that's kind of hard to like
Yes,
imagine
I
and
would love this.
because like you don't know which games I'm talking about. I know
Right,
what
right.
games I'm talking about. You don't know which games I'm talking about.
Maybe we should. I mean, we're just gonna have a live cam essentially. Back of kids' heads, just see it in the back. Anyways, um, no, I understand the concepts, but yeah, it would be great to see what
Can
you
I
mean
show
at the
you
same
an
time.
example really quickly?
By all means, yes.
Yeah, this is something that I like you could definitely do on Zoom. You don't have to sing along with me, but you can still follow along with me. So take your finger and say, this is the sun,
This is the sun.
this is the moon,
This is the moon.
this is the chimney pot.
This is the chimney pot.
Yes, chimney pot. And they ask, what's a chimney pot? I'm like, that's a good question. Take this finger and say, you'll be Sally.
You'll be Sally.
See if you can follow along. Sally go round the sun, Sally go round the moon, Sally go round the chimney pot every afternoon. Boom! What happened to Sally? And then we go into a whole thing about what happened with Sally. And then
Well,
I
what
tell
happened
them,
with Sally?
erase. I don't know, you get to figure it out. Erase, erase.
Race, race.
And then you now this time, this is the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And say this is the moon
This is the moon.
and this is the chimney pot.
This is the chimney pot.
Can you show me which one's your sun? Which one's your moon? Which one's your chimney pot?
And to our
Which
audio
one's
listeners, we're wiggling fingers at the moment.
Oh yeah, that's right. Nobody
That's
knows.
okay. So do check the YouTube video out. But right now we're signifying what's the moon, the sun, and the chimney pot by different fingers. So the first time
Mm-hmm.
was index, middle, ring. Now it is the thumb, index, and pinky.
Remember which one is Sally? Yes, it's the other hand
Other
and with
hand,
your index finger. All
yes.
right. I know we can't really sing together through Zoom, but I wonder if you can still circle Sally around the sun when we sing about it,
Okay.
and the moon,
Mm-hmm.
and the chimney pot while singing the song. Good luck. Ready, here we go. Sally, go round the sun. Sally, go round the moon. Sally, go round the chimney pot every afternoon. Boom!
Boom.
Yes. And then the play is see if you can have Sally go around all those different combinations. And it doesn't have to stay there. It could be sun, moon, chimney pot, or nose, chin, ear. It could be your elbow, shoulder, head. The play is everywhere, and you're
Mm.
manipulating where Sally is. And what are some musical aspects that are taught in just that song?
We have phrase. We have
Mm-hmm.
phrase is the first thing that comes to mind. Um,
Yes. Boom is when it ends.
okay. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I like what you said earlier. A lot of times, because that is play right there, and like the exploration is it's. When I give a size to it, it's small play. It's not like this big, you can't create a sport out of it, but like it's not supposed to be winner or loser. And you're right. A lot of people think that play is only someone has to win. But gears are spinning.
And also, it's not just about the game itself. It has to do with the teacher making it fun.
Hmm.
And how I was teaching it to you was like, where's your Sally? Oh, what
Right,
happened to
right.
Sally? You have to make it interesting too. Because it would be totally different if I did this. Here's sun, moon, chimney pot. Sally go around the sun, Sally go around the moon, Sally go around the chimney pot every afternoon. All right, next three.
Checklisting versus actually engaging with the kids. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's
Hmm.
why I love ETM and that's why I love Orff because in both of those approaches, I can be that person.
Hmm. Hmm. Do you think that middle school, high school, college can have that much fun?
It's a different kind of play with the brain. And so
Sure.
that's part of what we've been learning about what we were just doing with the finger play,
Mm-hmm.
younger children.
Yes.
However, whatever is the age of younger children that you decide. Because I know that there are some districts where they start music in third grade.
That's true.
And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's for
Mm-hmm,
them,
mm-hmm.
that's their young children, right?
Right,
They
right,
don't have music up until third grade.
right. And for me, it's TK. For you, it's first grade. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I'm not saying, oh, it's just first grade and second grade. Whoever is a young grade for you.
Okay.
hmm And so with older children, the brain research tells us that like they can be more abstract and have more puzzles with their play. So like, I mean, how many adults love puzzles? Or Sudoku or like word games or things
Right.
like that. Then that's also play, but there's also like that's how you make it engaging for them. A middle schooler is not going to really enjoy this finger play. You have to change the play that's appropriate for the age level or where their brain is at.
Right. Right. Hmm. Let's pencil this in for another episode because I feel like, yeah, I think it's always interesting whenever I talk to elementary teachers. It's always what grabbed them was the joy and the fun, and the rigor is what pushed them away from middle school and high school, be it as a student or as a teacher. And I've always thought that it's possible to bridge these two, but it's always been a weird canyon between the two. So.
Yeah,
Mm.
there's a gap. We should call it bridge the gap.
Bridge the gap.
hmm
Well, yeah, that'll be our next episode. Bridge the gap. Bridging the gap. Is there anything? So this is your 10th year. Wild. Is there anything you'd like to share? Let's say to yourself in 10 years. Not so much your goal, because I feel like so many people talk, what's your goal in 10 years? And which is it's definitely valuable, but like what's something that you don't want your 20-year self to lose? Because I feel like something that I have struggled with is this notion of metal has memory. I share this in Jasmine's episode. Like I have been taught a certain way, And during the early years of my teaching, I was very much like, I can be molded in very different ways. And as I've gotten older in teaching, I have to constantly remind myself of, wait, don't go back to the old, like, don't go back to like the conservatory approach of teaching, even though like it's comfortable sometimes doing that. So is there something that you want to tell your 20-year-old self, hey, don't forget, or hey, or whether it's just words of encouragement or it's like a word of advice? Yeah. What's something you want to share to 20-year-old self, Jamie Junn, who brings the fun?
Don't forget. So, to myself 10 years from now, I would say, don't forget to be kind and joyful.
Mm.
And kind could be like to any sense of who of the word, to yourself and to the children and to anybody involved in education, because we're specifically talking about in education. If I were to me, it's still in education.
Right.
And to be joyful, because I was just thinking about how like um that's a big reason why I attuned to these approaches, is because they're joyful. And that, and I don't want to give the impression of, oh, just be happy all the time, or the toxic positivity. No. But to be kind, in the sense to be kind to myself with
Yeah.
self-care, but also kind to the students, is that I'm not going to let people be unkind to you, or let you be unkind to other people as well.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
But still, yeah, and but still be joyful, in the sense that what we're doing here is meant to be good for everybody. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, thank you, Jamie. And hopefully in 10 years, you can listen to this episode. We'll earmark it to episode 116. But thank you so much, Jamie, for sharing your little introduction of who you are, because people are going to hear a lot of you next year and the years to come. So I mean, it's not supposed to be a threat. It's supposed to be, hey, it's supposed to be, hey. But yeah, so as a welcome to the Chaotic family. And thank you for joining us on this. Thank you for joining us as family, because I'm looking forward to our conversations in the future.
Yay! I'm so
Yeah.
happy to be part of it. Thank you.
Yeah. But all listeners, don't forget, still is more Jamie after the break.
I want to take a quick break and thank my husband Bryan, who's been working behind the scenes producing these episodes every week on all of the platforms and on time. But you need to know that he is first a financial planner for Mission Trails Financial. Mission Trails Financial is a partner that seeks to guide clients in the journey to financial success. They believe that people need a financial advisor that aims to provide strategies for success. Mission Trails Financial helps people navigate investments, tax planning, and insurance. Imagine working with an advisor who isn't tied to specific brands. Mission Trails Financial has a fiduciary responsibility to act in the best interests of their clients by providing independent, objective advice. Their mission is to help clients accomplish their financial goals. As Joe Vitale once said, a goal should scare you a little and excite you a lot. Do yourself a favor and set up a time to chat with Mission Trails Financial. Visit www.missiontrailsfinancial.com or call 619-419-0238 to schedule a call. You'll be glad you did. We believe that leaning on professionals is how we get ahead. Check out the program notes for more information.
Welcome back to Chaotic Harmony. But before we continue, you know what's up. Left turn. Thank you all for impressions with Jamie and John. Thank you all so much for being a part of this 100+ episode journey, whether you joined us at Jamie's first episode with her cameo on Tiffany's episode, or you were just joining us today. Thank you so much. It means a lot for you to join us. And if you want this journey to continue, please make sure you support the things you love. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/chclassroom, where you can get special merch and other things for the class. You point at, are you wearing the shirt now?
No, I was thinking I
Nah.
should have worn this shirt, because I also subscribe to Patreon.
Yeah, like you should, listeners. I know we've had earlier pictures with Jamie in the awesome shirt, but and also we're hoping to change things up for next season, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But if you don't have a coin to toss our way, that's okay. But there are free ways to support us. Leave us a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. As of last time I checked, it's still Michelle. Michelle, you're awesome, but I would love to celebrate more awesome people. Also, 5 stars only. I only know how to count to 5. And if you leave a written review, like we did with Michelle, what are you doing? Don't cut to 4. 5, Jamie. 5. Uh,
Well, I'm a dancer, so I count to eight.
I like asymmetrical meters, so I count to five. There we go. Um, but we'll read your review online on this episode, these episodes. Also, you can follow us on YouTube and the socials. Leave this episode a like and write a nice comment. Unlike those toxic people on the internet, please make sure you over counterbalance that with your nice comments. All these small things ensure these extracurricular things still exist, and we don't get bought up by Club Penguin or something. I don't know. Does Club Penguin still exists, or
I don't know.
did you play
I
Club Penguin back in the day, or no?
no.
No? Okay, well, never mind. Never mind. And anywho, we're moving on to everyone's favorite segment, Fake Sheet. So the rules are simple. We
Woohoo!
have 10 books, and Jamie here has to guess which ones are real and which ones are fake. If she wins, she gets to actually you already won the shirt, so we'll figure something out. Next season we're gonna have a much more. I'll get you. I'll pay for your burrito next time, or whichever next time I see you.
Ooh, and just in time because I'm hungry right now.
Well, I can't Venmo. I mean, I guess I can Venmo you. I don't know.
No, 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 no.
We'll
It's
figure
fine.
something out. But you need to get at least 7 books correct. So
Okay.
let's see which ones. Let's see. Let's just get started. So, book number 1, Pocket Full of Sads. Real book or fake book?
Pocket full of what?
Pocket Full of Sads.
Like as
Real
in
book?
sad?
Sad, yeah, sad face,
Oh,
like sads.
oh.
Real book?
Fake.
Are you locking in?
Fake.
Okay. Pocket Full of Sads, written by Davidson.
No.
So let me pull up here we go. So
Now
actually,
I'm a pocket full of sads.
for now. Rabbit is so excited to go fishing with Bear, but Bear is not feeling up to it. He's feeling low. His pocket is full of sad. And that's weighing him down. And then
Okay.
we'll see what happens from there on. Moving on. Book 2. Mr. Did you fill my picture? Real book or fake?
Mister, did you fill
My,
my
Mr. Did you fill my picture? Real book or fake?
I got the last one wrong. So real.
Mr. Did you fill my picture? Did you fill my picture? Written by Jonathan Seligman. Oh
No!
no!
I'm not
Ooh.
off to a good start.
No.
Oh
Oh
no.
man. This is what the end of the year feels like.
It's
All right.
okay. I already got a shirt.
Got a shirt already, but that's all right. So at the moment it is 0-2. But you can still turn things around. It's 8 more books. So book number 3, The Helping Sweater. Real book or fake book?
Helping sweater?
The Helping Sweater. Real book or fake book?
I'm just second guessing myself and overthinking. This is my competitive part coming out. Fake.
Locking in.
Fake.
The Helping Sweater, written by Rachel Moss Davidson. Ooh, it's
Ah!
okay. It's okay. You just gotta get it. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's all good. It's all good.
I
Um,
think this might be the first episode where like the guest starts off terribly.
and then the comeback kids come around.
Okay, okay,
So
okay.
the helping sweater, it's finally cold for Maya to wear her favorite sweater. But when her cat pulls thread loose, her beloved sweater quickly begins to unravel. I wonder if Rachel Moss Davidson is the same, is a sibling or related to Brad Davidson, who did the Pocketful of Sads. I'm not sure. So that's a real book. Book number 4, Rain Before Rainbows. Real book or fake book?
It
Rain
sounds like it
Before
would be a
Rainbows.
real book. But I've been wrong.
What do you feel now? What do you feel
I feel
now?
like it's real, so maybe I should say fake. Every time I've been wrong.
Uh, Rain
Because
Before
logically
Rainbows.
it's correct. Rain before rainbows. Real.
Rain Before Rainbows, written by Smriti Prasadam-Halls. A real book. She did not shut out. All right, all right. So we are one or three, four, one out, one and three. So good job, good job. Okay, okay, okay. Next one. Book number 5. Don't Lecture Me, Turkey. Real book or fake book? Don't Lecture Me, Turkey. Real book?
I feel like that's totally fake.
Don't
Ah,
Lecture Me, Turkey.
I feel like it's fake. Fake. Fake.
She's locking in. Don't Lecture Me, Turkey. Written by Jonathan Seligman. All right. 2 and 3. Okay, okay,
Okay, we are
okay.
making a comeback.
All right.
I just have to get the rest of them right.
Book number 6. The Mixed Up Chameleon. Real book or fake book?
That chameleon.
The Mixed Up Chameleon. Real book or fake?
It makes sense. It makes sense. So it's real.
Locking in? Okay.
Yeah?
The Mixed Up Chameleon, written by Eric Carle. All righty.
Oh,
So
oh.
that is 3 and 3, 3 out of 6. So far, we're still good. We're still good. So actually, I've never read. I've read a lot of Eric Carle's book. Never read that one. Um,
Mm.
and oh, I forgot. Summary. So do 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 do. This is my finding the book. Oh, Rain Before Rainbows. All actually, I didn't read that summary. So Rain Before Rainbows. Um, in this heartfelt story about courage, change, and moving on, a girl and her companion Fox travel together away from a sorrowful past through challenging and stormy times toward color and light and life. So that's Rain Before Rainbows. As far as the what chameleon? What did I say?
Mixed up chameleon.
I did a song with my kids last year, the Clever Chameleon song. I'm thrown off, but the Mixed Up Chameleon. This book by Eric Carle. There once was a small green chameleon that wished to be handsome like a flamingo, smart like a fox, and funny like a seal. But with each transformation in shape, size, shape, and color, the chameleon learns maybe it's best to be yourself after all. So that's that book. All right. Book number 7. Eyes. Wait. Did I say that? Where did the book go? Yes. Eyes That Speak to the Stars. Real
Oh, I
book?
know that one. Real.
Okay. Walk in.
Yeah, real.
Okay.
I've seen it.
Eyes That Speak to the Stars, written by Joanna Ho. So
Yeah.
good. 4 and 3. 4 and 3. So, or 4 out of 7, whichever one math you want to do. And oh, forgot summaries. This is a new one. A young boy comes to recognize his own power and ability to change the future. When a friend at school creates a hurtful drawing, the boy turns to his family for comfort. He realizes that his eyes rise to the skies and speak to the stars, shine like sunlit rays, and glimpse trails of light from those who came before. And so this is the Eyes That Kiss the Corners is about a girl. Same author. This one's about a boy. So
Hmm.
check it. Book number 8, My Invisible Bubble. Real book or fake book?
I feel like it's real. Is I feel like this is a book that you mentioned in one of your other episodes.
Real book or
Real.
fake book?
Real.
My Invisible Bubble, written by Michelle Chan. Yes, we had her as a
Yes.
guest on our
Yes.
podcast. So, okay, we're doing good. And by the way, hello,
I
Michelle, if you're
knew
watching.
it.
So you are 5 and 3. 2 more books. The Little Key. Oh wait, well, first off, let's talk about this book. We don't just talk. Okay, so we teach children many things, but the topic of boundaries is usually left out at school and at home. So this book is about boundaries. My Invisible Bubble. All right. Book number 9. The Little Kiwi's New Year. Real book or fake book?
The past ones have been real, so this must be fake.
The Little Kiwi's New Year. Sorry, are you locking in fake?
Yeah, it also doesn't make sense. So fake.
The Little Kiwi's New Year, written by Nikki Slade Robinson. So it's about the animal kiwi, not the fruit kiwi.
But that
So
also doesn't make sense.
let's go read the summary. Let's go read the summary. Pulling it up. All right. The Maori New Year is a time for celebrating food and family. A little kiwi in New Zealand coastal bush wakes up in the middle of her sleep because she can feel it coming. So,
Oh.
yeah. All right. So, sadly enough, you were doing a great comeback, but that is now 5 and 4. So, let's see. Can you do it's the last one correct? All right.
Pocket full of sad.
Pocket full of sad. Last book. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. Real book or fake book?
That's a song. That's for a song for an ad.
Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. Real book?
Fake.
Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. Written by whoever makes SpaghettiOs. That is correct. It's a fake book. So, in the end, your total is 6 and 4. So 6. That's a good record. 6 out of 10. It's a pretty good record. But alas, you get no. I should just send you a pink shirt because you hate pink so much. That should be your award. You just like pink so much. I'll send you pink. I don't
And
know.
then
We'll
I'll
figure it
never
out.
wear it.
And you'll be your pocket full of sads. Anywho, that's all good. Jamie, thank you for joining us. But is there anything you would like to plug before you peace out?
I do have an Instagram.
You also have something coming up in November, don't you?
Oh yeah. Thank you. So the Instagram is
Yes.
at JMEJUNE. It is the incorrect way to say my name.
Do people say Jimmy? Do you ever when I'm calling Jimmy?
Some people have just played around and say Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Jimmy June. And
Jimmy
I'm
June?
like, it's June, not June.
It's John who brings the fun. You know.
Yes.
And
Not June from the moon.
sure, we'll go with that.
I have been accepted to present at the next AOSA conference happening in Kentucky.
Okay.
Yes. So if you want to hang out and see me and chat, then I will be there.
And you should check it out, y'all. Are you allowed to say what it's about or not yet?
Yeah, I think so. An Orff approach to South Korean games and songs.
Okay. Which is more than fitting to what we were just talking about today. So awesome. And you can follow me or find me at Mr. Seligman, MrSeligman on either Instagram, TikTok, or Blue Sky, mostly the first two, but you know. And then also you can find us at CH Classroom. If you have a question, if you want to share something, if you want to recommend a book, if you want to recommend someone to talk on the podcast, chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail.com. We will respond to you within a month. We're getting better at it though, but no, we'll respond to you actually better than that. But please feel free to follow us and send us a message. Jamie, so glad to have you on the family, and we will definitely see you soon enough. Take care, y'all. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.